Well, good morning everybody, and a really, really warm welcome to the Hilton here in Coventry. Sell out, 250 people here, and I think that's a real testament to the importance of catering in garden centres.
We also felt like we were missing out on quite a big market because of our facilities. So we looking to develop, obviously grow so we could cater for a larger amount of people.
What we did know for certain was that we had to be different from everywhere else because there were an awful lot of other garden centres within sort of 20 minutes of us. Thankfully for all of us, great food in lovely surroundings, and of course somebody else to do the washing up can never be found cheaper on the internet.
It was quite staggering, the differences that we saw in the way they do their catering. But everywhere you go, food comes first. And so of course garden centres really have to keep up with this whole food culture.
The big trend that we've seen, certainly in garden centres over the years, is for people to request us to map out the customer journey.
Make it easy for your customers to spot what they're looking for, group all your hot sandwiches together. If you've got a deal running, make sure they can pick out all the elements of that deal up in that one place.
So we've reduced the queues, we've achieved the object, we have gained customers, we're not losing customers, we're gaining them.
Whatever we cook, it's because it's the right season, because it's local, and because we want to eat it ourselves.
It's your thoughts about what the role is, what the role should do, what the expectations are, what the objective is, who they report to, etc, etc, etc. So fundamental stuff, but it amazes us how many people don't do this.
To be doing. So identifying what you want from that person in your garden set is absolutely the most important thing.
Within the next 5 years, legislation is changing where you have to be able to communicate not only where your product comes from to your customer, but what that product is made of.
We both work very closely with our local suppliers, first name terms, they share our values as well. We go out, we look at the local suppliers, we visit where our food's coming from.
So it is an ongoing challenge, and as we've heard already, working in partnership with them to give an anticipation of demand is really important.
Specifically this morning, we're just going to talk about sort of like the queue busting element that we have at the moment in a lot of garden centre locations.
Is that our old garden centre, which was last money spent on it in 1996, has a 300-seater restaurant, but was right at its peak. So we were desperate to get more catering onto the site for the periods where we were the busiest.
I'm sure you're all kind of aware from this morning and from everything that's been in the papers recently, but the garden centre world is going through an enormous revolution, and it's an exciting revolution, but that's going to give it with it a lot of change. First questions you ask yourself, the meaning of life, why are we here? Why on earth do we want to do it in the first place? Get that right, and then the rest of your strategy will just fly.
Why is counter service more profitable?
Because the staff costs are considerably lower. The customers are doing the work for you, aren't they? They're carrying the food around. They're in and out a lot quicker.
Our expectation was that we would open the waitress service restaurant and it would take off from day one. And I think because of the success of what we had, our expectation was that would just happen.
Everybody who eats is an expert. We're all experts on eating. If we upset them in the coffee shop, you'll know about it.
You have to join the dots and you have to decide what's right for you. There's no right or wrong, it's what fits your purpose and your customer.
I think that's a really interesting thing to say, because when I took over, people came to my garden centre to buy a plant and might have a cup of coffee. Now, people come to have a cup of coffee and might buy a plant.
Specialty tea sales in the UK are growing, and now specialty teas, they're muscling in on more drinks menus. It's worth noting the growing trend in tea consumption already happening.
I really feel that any up-and-coming business should capitalise in social media. This is where I get most of my insights into what is going to be popular. So what is the next big thing? the cannoli. The cannoli, an Italian staple, and a cross between a biscuit and a brandy sap, which leads me on to the lobster towels, another gorgeous treat made with 1,000 layers of pastry, crisp pastry, and filled with flavoured creams. Another tip for what I predict will be a big hit this year. Will always favour hand-baked if available. When great produce is on offer, they will return and recommend to their friends. And let's be honest, word of mouth is the best advertising you can get. Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.